Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to try to clear up maybe a little bit of confusion from some comments that I got from my most recent video about my OBE experience and being a student of Darius J. Wright for the last 13 months. There were some questions about my 25 years of opiate addiction and then the 15 years, the most recent 15 years of my journey into truth. So I want to clear that up just in case many of you haven't watched my other videos where I share some of my story. In 2013, my oldest son was sentenced to 8 years in prison and 4 years on probation. The important part is what it did to my life when I was so deep into addiction. That was the closest thing to death I could have experienced for one of my sons, who I absolutely have dedicated my life to up until I learned the truth about who I am. It was the most painful time of my life, or the start of some of the most painful times of my life. There was nothing I could do to save him. And the guilt and the shame of not being able to do anything to stop this thing from happening. My oldest son was about to go to a Florida prison for 8 years. On his first offense, his attorney said, had it been any other county, she could have got him a lot of probation, but not Sarasota County. So three of the 4 men were sentenced to 8 years in prison. The one guy who started the whole thing snitched and got himself 3 years by making up a lot of lies. My son didn't even give a testimony. He didn't even admit to anything. He was just straight sentenced. Not that he didn't do something to bring that on himself. It wrecked me. It took my need to numb the pain to a whole new level. I was devastated. I cried myself to sleep at night. I don't know for how many months. I would cry at lunchtime. I was just crying over my failure, believing that I failed as a parent. I was so caught up in my issues and my addiction and my trying to numb the screams of my pain and the traumas from my past with pills. There was one particular evening that I was so overwhelmed. And plus, I'm taking a lot of, oxycodone, 30 milligrams, a lot in a day, especially at that point. I don't know exactly how many, but I know the worst I got with the oxycodones, I was taking them orally. The last 5 years of my addiction, I was putting a needle in my arm. I was shooting Dilaudids and Roxys, and I even was shooting some Subutex. I even shot some meth. That's where I was. But a long way from here, there were points where I was taking 10, 30 milligram oxycodones at a time. That was a lot of money every day. But I was sobbing, full belly crying, drooling. I got snot. I'm soaking. My whole face is soaking wet. My hair is wet. I'm a mess. My youngest son wasn't home, or I would not have collapsed like that. I collapsed privately when I did. I rarely let my sons know that I was just falling apart. I was crying and begging out to the God and the Jesus of the Bible. And this is not about that, but I'm explaining my state of mind. This is my personal experience and my personal perspective. So I was crying out to the God and Jesus of the Bible, begging from a very broken, just desperate state of being. Please help me. Please help me help my son. Please take this from me. Your word says you are no respecter of persons, that what you do for one of your children, you will do for all of your children. I hung my hat on that for a long time because I saw a bunch of testimonies where people were instantly delivered. God instantly delivered them from their insane addiction immediately. It was gone. I wanted that for myself. So I was doing everything a good Christian woman should do. Church 3 times a week, teaching a missionettes program. I was Bible studying. I was going to Celebrate Recovery. I was going to meetings. I was going to counseling. I was doing everything I was told to do by the recovery industry, by doctors, by pastors, by anybody that I thought could help me. By this time, I had tried so many things. I had tried Suboxone treatment, which was the worst thing I ever did. It was the worst thing because the withdrawals from that stuff is worse than the withdrawals from oxycodone 30 milligrams. The worst for me. I know everybody's body's different. They respond differently, but it was worse for me. So I'm begging for grace, begging for mercy as a lowly, worthless sinner, undeserving of anything. Please deliver me from this. Deliver my family from this. Search my heart and know that if you help me with this, I will never, ever, 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 ever go back to this life. It'll never happen. I cried myself to sleep, believing that when I woke up the next morning, that this whole addiction thing was going to just be gone for me. I wasn't going to crave it. I wasn't going to wake up figuring out how I'm going to get to work, get to my dealer before I have to be at work, which hardly worked out. So I begged and pleaded and cried, expecting a miracle by morning. When I woke up, I didn't get a miracle. I didn't get a miracle. What I got was an awareness to say, the definition of insanity, we all know it. So in my mind, my fresh morning mind, clear, no pills in it yet, I made the decision that everything I had ever known up until that point, everything I learned, everything I heard, everything I was taught, it was getting shoved on the back burner. And I said the words to God and Jesus, you're going to have to forgive me for what I'm about to do because you guys nobody has shown up to help me and my family do this. So I'm putting all of that and you, the Bible, the church, and all of those, everything, my parents, teachers, pastors, counselors, everything is going back burner. I've got to find answers somewhere else because here I'm getting crickets. I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting any help. I'm getting more frustrated, more angry, more resentful, more bitter, and more of the victim mindset was setting in. I was not, I had to do something different. I had to do something different. So that's what I was going to do. I didn't know what that was, but I know the first thing that I was going to do is throw away the fear of looking where I was told not to look, right? I can't help it. I'm going to look there. I have been threatened. I have been told all of these terrible things that if I look in this direction, I'm going to hell and the devil is working through me. Okay. Well, that's the first place I'm going to consider going because you're going through a lot to tell me to stay away from over there. I'm kind of curious as to why. So, but I still didn't know what I was doing. So sometime, I don't know, it was a Friday or Saturday night. There's a place in Sarasota, downtown Sarasota, called the Gator Club. That was my little, I could go there safely by myself. I didn't need anybody. I can go safely sit at the bar next to the bartenders that I know. And that I did. Not really knowing what was going to happen next in my life, where I was going to look, how it was all going to come about. But I'm going to go sit in the bar, I'm going to listen to some music, and I'm going to have myself a drink. I wasn't a drinker, but I often danced off a lot because I enjoy dancing. And growing up in a Cuban family, we danced a lot. We had a lot of family parties. I went where I could escape, essentially, in a way. So across the bar is this man, probably about my age at the time, was smiling the whole time. He had a smile on his face from ear to ear the entire time he was sitting there. Well, because I'm me, I had to find out. So I walked over to him. I said, well, what are you so happy about? You're smiling the whole time I've seen you sitting here. What do you got to be happy about? Sure. So he started to tell me that he used to be an addict. And he started to share a little bit of his story. And I shared mine, a little bit of mine. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy that you're even sitting here right now and I'm even talking to you, that I would even walk over here to talk to you. What'd you do? So he started to share some things with me that I was just like, oh my gosh, that's scary. I never heard of that person, which was Abraham Hicks and Doreen Virtue. I never heard of these people. I know nothing about them. Nothing. So, okay. So I considered that. So when I got home that evening, I did a YouTube search and I'm like, okay, Abraham Hicks. And I saw the first video, which it was something about, like our thoughts become things. And that, we are frequency. We're emitting a signal. We have a control of our environment. Never heard this in my entire life. Blew my freaking mind. I was just like, okay, hold on. Whoa, all right. I'm sorry, Jesus. I know this person is channeling an entity through this woman, and everything of my understanding is, ooh, I'm gonna be in trouble. But yeah, I listened and I listened and I listened and I listened and I kept listening, and I must have listened to every Abraham Hicks thing I could find, not knowing what to do about the source of the information, but this information made sense to me. And why haven't I ever heard this? This is the stuff that they're keeping from me. Why? What's so bad about this? What's so evil about this? What's so satanic about this? I couldn't figure it out, but I kept looking. So that started me on this path. I didn't know about this world, about new age or any of those things, or spirituality, none of them. I'm just looking for ways to get myself free from this addiction that is destroying my life in every way. So that's what I did. I was still using. My life was still crazy. I was still trying to function and keep a roof over my head and take care of my sons, one in prison, one at home. Meh! I was in bad shape emotionally and mentally. But I was conditioned to stuff it, shove it, deny it, disown it, do not feel it. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I gotta work. No time to collapse. So I did my very best with the pills to not collapse, to keep going, keep going, keep going. So that's what I had been doing all of this time. The more I learned, the more I went off these little forks in the road. It's like, okay, that didn't make sense to me. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to try this. They said this. Okay. They sound good. It sounds great. Okay. Well, I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, I'm pushing it aside. Like I think I've said in other videos. So, but that led me down my path to, I was on my way to Junkie Road and I didn't know it. I was on my way there. So I met somebody I married. I've been married twice, divorced twice. So my last husband, he was my ride to rock bottom. And it was a quick ride and it was a hard landing, but I got there. And if I hadn't, I would probably still be doing what I had been doing all those years prior, just barely making it, working hard, driving all over the place, wasting time, wasting money, and not getting to where I am. To me, that marriage was an event marker for my life. It was what was required to get me to where I am today. My life, I likened to, at the start of that, was a dirty glass of water. Muddy, dirty glass of water. I kept pouring in the clean water of knowledge. I'm pouring it in. I'm still dirty. I'm still using. I'm making mistakes. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But I'm pouring in knowledge. I'm learning as much as I can, everywhere that I can, and choosing what resonates with me. I tried so many things. I tried yoga. I never could connect with it. And I didn't know why. I'd be so frustrated. I bought a yoga mat. I bought my yoga blocks. I got my yoga pants. Everybody's doing yoga. This is okay. All right, I'm going to try it. I could never grab onto it. I was sitting there. I was just like, this is not, I don't know why. This is not for me. It sucks. There's something wrong with me. Must be something wrong with me that I can't get into any of this. So I put my yoga mat away. I still have it, only to find these things that I have put aside, walked away from, and closed the door on were things that they weren't meant for me because it wasn't where I was going. I didn't know that what I was looking at or listening to was new age stuff. I had no idea. I was purging on the Gaia network, having no idea what the Gaia network was. Really, there was a label on it. I didn't know what it was until I started listening to Darius. Then things started to click. Like, that's what I was doing. I didn't know it. I don't know anybody else. I've been in isolation for the last 5 years. Outside of my sons, I don't really go anywhere, and I don't do anything. I focus on me. I'm getting to know me. I'm healing me. I'm crying when I need to cry. I'm breaking shit when I need to break shit. I am just doing me. It's better for me for somebody who has stuffed everything my entire life. If I want to grab my machete and go out there and clear a path in the woods, I'm doing it because that's what I feel like. I got to get it out. I had so much frustration and anger and bitterness and rage on the inside of me over all the powerlessness I felt my entire life. So this time of my life has been wow. And I'm healing things, I'm freeing things, I'm forgiving myself left and right for things. After I made it to Junkie Road, my addiction took its final. I took my final blow when I caught my possession of heroin charges I think it was the end of 2019. I don't keep dates. I don't. That started me on probation, and I was, I'm still struggling. It's like I don't know what to do. I have all of these tools I've been collecting all of these years. Now I'm facing possible jail time, which is devastating to me. Who's going to help my son? What am I, it was just like, holy shit, I can't let this happen. Sleeping on my sister's couch, didn't have a job, didn't have a vehicle. I have struggling to pay my storage so I can keep what I had left of my life I was not partying with. So, but I started collecting unemployment, which was a blessing. I bought a $600 F-150 that I still have. Love it. And I have a new truck. And it wasn't long after that I got my first studio apartment in Land O'Lakes, Florida. And it was the most joyous, wonderful time. And I have had the most joyous, wonderful times ever since then. And I was reaching a plateau before I met Darius. There was something that wasn't off, and I knew I needed to keep looking, but I wasn't going to keep looking. I wanted to reach higher states of consciousness. I need answers. I need some real deal. Yeah, I have to know more. So that's when I came across Darius's video and reluctantly watched it and passed it by, like I said in yesterday's video. And it's changed my life. It's changed my view of everything. So I just wanted to clear that up. I have so much more that I'm going to share with everybody, and everybody will get to know me and my journey a little bit better in the coming videos. But I want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed. I can't express to you enough what this has done to my soul, what this has done to my heart. I now have an outlet for all of this passion, all of this energy, all of this fire on the inside of me for the truth. And I know there's only so much I can say on this platform. So I don't know where my path is going. I really don't know. And I don't have to know. I trust my soul is at the steering wheel. And all of these things will be made known to me as I move forward. Like if you would have told me 3 days ago that I would have the response that I've had, I don't even know what I would say. I don't even know what I would say. So, but I am absolutely overjoyed, and I have just so much gratitude in my heart for all the love and support that I have received, and I am going through everybody's comments. I've had nothing but technical issues in trying to record this video. I won't even get into it, but it's just been a pain in the ass to try to get this done. So I'm going to get it done. I'm going to edit it really quick, and I'm uploading it. So, and then I will get back to the videos, that rehab manipulation thing. I love research. The stuff that I'm finding it just has to be made. People need to be made aware of it. So I'm here to help. That's what I'm going to do. Thank you all. Thank you.